The Nigeria Civil War, also known as the Biafra War, remains one of the darkest chapters in Nigeria's history. Between 1967 and 1970, a conflict born from inequality, mistrust, and political and leadership failures tore through the heart of Nigeria. It was a war fought in people's homes, in the forests, on the streets, and in the plain sight and dazed visions of children who watched hunger and fear replace the sound of laughter. The scars of that season still linger, not only on the land but in the soul of the nation. Watch this video, created for Say a Prayer Guys. May Nigeria never happen to you. To uncover the real story behind the Biafra War, the injustices that fed it, and the lessons Nigeria and Nigerians must not forget, as well as how Veno Marioghae's voice spoke to what Nigeria and Nigerians must believe and act on to see a better nation. The Biafra War began with silence. The silence of those who saw injustice and did nothing, the silence of leadership that ignored the cries for fairness, and the silence of ordinary citizens who thought peace would come without truth and the active engagement in civic affairs. That silence soon turned into gunfire, and gunfire into graves. Entire towns were burned, families scattered, and dreams cut short. For many who lived through it, survival became an act of faith. Mothers watched their children starve, bloat, die, and fathers buried their hope beneath the soil. A new and strange name, Kwashiorkor, had arrived with the conflict, raving children and the elderly, sending them to their graves, not by gunshots. Yet, when the war ended, Nigeria did not heal, has not healed. Those who survived returned to a country pretending not to remember. The stories of soldiers who carried out detestable acts during the war fill the air, but the stories of civilians, the mothers, the young, the displaced, remain locked away in memories that history refuses to broadcast. Today, that silence is still dangerous because the war drums are present again, with weapons, with words, prejudice, and hate born out of parochial interests and bigotry. The spirit that once divided Nigeria has not disappeared, it has evolved. Aside from violence, it now also beats in tribal tensions, political deceit, and careless conversations that reduce people to tribes instead of citizens. A voice rose in the 1980s to remind Nigerians that even after war, hope could still breathe. Her name is Veno Marioghae, one of Nigeria's most respected singers, known for her fearless lyrics, soulful voice, and passion for national unity. Her hit song, Nigeria Go Survive, was a cry from the heart of a generation that refused to give up. Through her music, Veno became a symbol of resilience, reminding Nigerians that survival is not just about staying alive, but about believing again in the promise of a nation that has lost its way. She sang at a time when the country was still trying to recover from the wounds of war, and her words carried the same messages the battlefield had tried to erase, that Nigeria must rise again.
If them take for oil, even if them burn the oil, Nigeria go survive. I say if them drink the oil, no matter how them try, Nigeria go survive. I roots them strong for ground, ancestors no go gree, Nigeria go survive. They got up and lightning.
But that dream is still at risk. Because even after the war, the presumed reason for violence, many displaced Nigerians who were told to go home to their communities are still in search of peace and safety. They are being ambushed, butchered, and forgotten, long after peace has been declared. Their blood has become a warning to a nation that healing must not only be declared, it must be lived. When people choose revenge over reconciliation, when truth is buried for comfort, the ghosts of the past always find a way to return. The tragedy of the Nigerian Civil War was not only in the lives lost, but in the lessons ignored. Nigeria cannot afford to repeat the sins of silence and pride. If Nigeria must survive, its people must remember, not with hatred, but with humility. Every Nigerian must tell the truth, teach the truth, and defend the truth so that future generations will never have to live through what their ancestors are enduring. The quest for a working Nigeria is bringing forth some of these forgotten stories to build awareness and resilience to the people, beliefs, and systems that could lead to more pains and losses in Nigeria. Want to learn more? Our live stream on this topic is linked in the description. Activate the notification bell so you do not miss any new episodes. And if you find this video valuable, we invite you to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Say a Prayer, guys. May Nigeria never happen to you, so you never miss the conversations that matter about Nigeria and Nigerians. May Nigeria happen for all Nigerians and friends of Nigeria.